Once again, the future stars of soccer are on display at the U17 World Cup. United States against Tajikistan in Group I action here on State of Soccer. Welcome in to our watch-along. Josh Sperber here with the man in charge himself, Brian McDonough. And this is going to be a very exciting matchup for the United States, coming off a 1-0 win against Burkina Faso with a big-time shakeup in Group I, just finalizing earlier after Czech Republic's 2-1 shocking loss in an upset to Burkina Faso, who looked great against the United States national team this past week.
Josh, first place in the group is on the cards right now for the U.S. Here. U17 versus a weaker Tajikistan. You know, this is going to be a step down from their last opponent in Burkina Faso. I'm excited for this one. I'm expecting a lot of goals for the U.S. I'm also expecting some resilience from the side of the Tajiks, who are, of course, coming into this, proving themselves worthy to be in this tournament. So I think they're going to be very physical in this one. But this is going to be an exciting match, Josh.
It absolutely is. Tajikistan gave up plenty of goals in their first matchup against the Czech Republic. They are bringing on a new goalie. Mohammedrahim Rakhmonov will be in between the pipes for Tajikistan. Currently in last place in Group I. United States are behind on goal differential to Czech Republic, but even on points. Czech Republic after the loss with a +4 goal differential. United States +1. A tie alone will get the U.S. atop Group I. A win would virtually secure them a spot in the knockout stages of this U17 World Cup. As Brian said, it's very simple. First place is on the table for the United States, and they're making some lineup changes as well.
Yeah, watch along here on State of Soccer as we provide you live watch along commentary. Right now, it looks like the players are walking out, Josh, and the national anthems are about to get kicked off here as we're about to start shortly. Josh, early, expectations for this match and for our viewers, what are you thinking if you want to share your opinion here?
Well, I mean, as we mentioned, Brian, the last game Tajikistan played was a goal fest, 6-1. And the U.S. started off playing a bit conservative. If you guys were watching along with us a couple days back on Wednesday, the United States started off kind of slowly. I don't expect that same kind of measured, almost cautious style of play for the U.S. I expect them to be a lot more aggressive. Sullivan starting in the midfield, I think, is going to be huge for this team because he came off the bench and within 10, 15 minutes, the United States had a 1-0 lead because of that Sullivan goal. And I think him in the starting lineup is going to unlock a world of possibilities for Gonzalo Segarra's team.
Exactly right, Josh. Sullivan is a fantastic player. And you have to remember, he's also coming off of his MLS playoff duty with the Philadelphia Union. So I would venture to say he was even jet lagged in the last match. Now he's been in Qatar for a couple extra days here. And I think he's going to be feeling pretty good. But Josh, I have the updated standings here after Czechia dropped the match against Burkina Faso. What do you think when you're looking at these standings?
Well, I mean, first off, Burkina Faso could be a dark horse team in this one. They're going to get Tajikistan next week, and that could make the group a whole lot more interesting. But, I mean, they helped out the U.S. big time. I really thought that the United States and Czechia were really the two undisputed favorites in this group going into this, and that is no longer the case. Burkina Faso played a really good match against the Czech Republic, and it's paid off for them in the standings. And now they will await the result of United States versus Tajikistan, which has just kicked off in Qatar. We will have the watch-along progress here on State of Soccer, starting with the starting lineups as the United States tries to win possession from Tajikistan. A late formation change for the Tajiks going into a 4-3-3, as is the United States. And as we mentioned, Sullivan will get his first start after coming off the bench for the final half an hour of the match. and scoring what is so far the United States' only goal. He starts in the middle of the park as the center attacking midfielder in the United States 4-3-3 with Luka Moisa and Mateo Securis, who was a late addition to the first match as well. Securis had a hand in that Kevin Sullivan goal. And that is the three in the middle of the park for the U.S. Nimfasha Berchimas and Mathis Alpert remain on the wings, this time with Chase Adams as the out-and-out striker. And the defense remains the same as match number one. Aiden Stokes in goal, Ramiz Hamuda, Chris Cups in the center of the parks, Pedro Guimaraes and Gio Villa as United States fullbacks. And Brian, this is in some ways a very similar lineup to game one, but with some big talents in Chase Adams and Kevin Sullivan getting their first, that is a big way it differs. What are your thoughts on this starting lineup for the United States?
It's a starting lineup I expected to see, Josh. Like you said, not too many changes here. Of course, Kevin getting the start. Josh, I don't know if is your screen up to date here live?
Oh, it is getting up to date now. United States starting the move. Tajikistan with an interception.
I'll let you call the last
pass forward, shot from the 6-yard box almost, and it's a goal. Tajikistan scoring in the opening 2 minutes, and it's Mohammad Nazriev, the goal scorer for the Tajiks in game one. And right off the bat, the United States down by a goal. This could be a major shakeup in Group I, with Burkina Faso upsetting the Czech Republic. And once again, in the opening 2 minutes, the United States have a goal in their game. United States with inside the third minute allow a goal from Tajikistan. No one forward enough for Nazriev, who slips past the U.S. defense, and they have allowed their first goal of this tournament.
This is going to be a point of resilience here, right, Josh, for the U.S., because they come into this match, they see Tajikistan, give up 5 goals against Czechia. They're thinking they have this game under control. Chase Adams, Kevin Sullivan coming in here. But as I said, Tajikistan's looking to make a point here. They have to prove themselves. They're on the world stage. This is a small country that's proud to be in this position. The whole country is behind them. Giving up 5 goals, they're playing for, the country on their chest here. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tajikistan really takes to the U.S. here early on, as I said in the pre-match. And this is some resilience now. So the U.S. needs to strike back quick.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think obviously with the goal, Tajikistan is doing what they need to do. This match, they're playing really aggressive, just like you said. You called it. They're pressing right out of the gate, and they're forcing the United States defenders as much as they can to reconsider their passes or make an errant pass like they did to allow that first goal from Tajikistan. And the Tajiks again pushing the ball forward. Nazriev inside the United States defense gets a back pass to Boban Azarev. Apologies in advance for the pronunciations of these names for Tajikistan, but the United States getting the clearance as they try to bring it up. Nazriev is the striker in a 4-2-3-1 for Tajikistan, with 3 midfielders up front: Ibrahim Zoda, Odil Zoda, and Ashurali Zoda, the 3 midfielders, and 2 in defense: Boban Azarev and Bakhtiliev, with Shoev on the right side, Make Muradov on the left side as fullbacks. As the United States get into the 18-yard box, Tajikistan tries to clear it. Rozikov, Hasanbekov are the 2 center backs for Tajikistan in front of the new goalie, Mohammad Rahim Rakhmonov, as a foul is called on the United States midfielder, Mateo Securis.
Guys, I was able to secure the live play-by-play feed in terms of the passes on the pitch here. So obviously, Josh and I are tuning in live on the stream here. So if we're a little bit behind the action on the screen, bear with us. But of course, this is also a conversation. Just watch along here and comment where you're tuning in from. I always want to know where you guys are tuning in from. Are you tuning in from Tajikistan? Are you watching on behalf of the U.S.? Are you just a casual who's just really into youth World Cup soccer here? Where are you tuning in from? Comment. Make sure to subscribe, hit like. Early on here, Tajiks with the 1-0 lead on U.S.
And we always seem to have a whole lot of different places represented, as the United States gets a shot going across the face of goal and out of bounds. That was a long-range effort from Kevin Sullivan. But last week when we had the first match of this group, we had people tuning in from multiple different continents. And I believe we had a couple fans from Argentina, people from all over the world. And it's always cool to see how many different countries and states and everything that we have represented on these State of Soccer streams.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Josh. That's what it's all about. That's why I love doing these live streams. We don't always do them on State of Soccer, but for the duration of, fair to say, as long as the U.S. sticks in this, we're going to keep doing it throughout the duration of the U17 World Cup. So if you guys definitely enjoy this, hit subscribe to follow along on this journey here through the U17 World Cup. But the U.S. needs to get one back. They really do here. It's first place is up for grabs for them after Czechia losing earlier on.
And Tajikistan taking the victory here, if the score holds, which we've got plenty of time, 83 minutes left in this match, so we are far from over. But if the score holds for the next 80 minutes and change, all three teams will go into the final day of the group stage with 3 points. And the Czech Republic, depending on the score, would likely still have the highest goal differential. Currently a +4, the United States at an even 0.
Yeah, and here, Josh, you can see it right now, actually. There's the standings straight up right now, live standings, which I always prefer. So you can see U.S. drops back into that third position. And the one thing to remind everyone, this is youth soccer. This is youth football. This isn't, even the World Cup senior national teams drop matches that are unexpected. But it happens often at these youth levels. So anything can happen in the U17 World Cup, which is why it's also so much fun to watch.
And also, clearly, the head-to-head matchups are not as important as the goals for, as that is the only thing separating Burkina Faso from the United States at this point. Burkina Faso with the extra 2 goals from the 2-1 win over Czechia earlier today. Ball goes back to the goaltender for Tajikistan as Rachmanov sends a booming kick across midfield to try and clear it. But you can see the aggression starting to dial up from this USA team. As we have our first comment of the day. United States need to get that killer instinct. They just don't want it as bad as other countries. And our friend John Smith makes a really good point, honestly, because I feel like it's been so recent, the rise in terms of just the rabid fandom of United States soccer. And that when you have such a strong supporter section, as the United States has grown over the last few years, it really translates to the players. And you still don't see that kind of killer instinct, as John said, from a lot of the U.S. national team players. In
Josh,
terms of closing out matches and everything. But, Brian, I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no, sorry to interject here. I just think it's interesting, too. We're at a stage now in the development of the program where the fans are a lot more in tune with even the youth national levels, right? So social media has a lot to say about that. All these different accounts that are out there closely tracking, State of Soccer doing the same, but closely tracking youth national teams, especially this U.S. team. So these players will hear it. If they drop this match, maybe 10, 15 years ago, no one would really say anything. But you're going to see a lot of criticism if this ends up not going the U.S.'s way.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember, what was it? The 2018 World Cup. I remember kind of watching a game, not even watching it on television. I was at a bar at the college I used to go to for work, and the game wasn't even on. It was United States versus, I think, Trinidad and Tobago to, try and clinch it. It was supposed to be a slam dunk of a match, and the United States failed to qualify for the World Cup. That qualifying game was not even on national television. at that point, like they didn't even have Fox carrying it on TV or the app. Like we're watching this game right now. And that was the first time I'd really seen a strong reaction to any United States result. That was 2018, or maybe even a little bit before that, if you remember that qualifying, ultimately unsuccessful qualifying process. And I just remember being upset about it. And I feel like that started something in U.S. soccer. And from that disappointment match, it really had a snowball effect. And I think it helped kind of like the 2004 U.S. men's basketball team getting bronze medal in the Olympics. It kind of had that effect and helped bring up U.S. soccer. But I still think there's another level that the fans, the players, the coaches need to get to start, really getting elite results in these kind of competitions like, World Cups and everything like that.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Josh. That was, I think, one of the first times that a U.S. loss hit the airwaves of just mainstream media as hard as it did. Yeah. And we saw all over, thanks to Taylor Twellman, at ESPN at the time, and a lot of individuals being very outspoken about that 2018 World Cup. And you saw teams like, I want to say it was Costa Rica, I think in that 2018 World Cup had a really good tournament. It might have been Panama, I can't remember. But either way, CONCACAF teams fared pretty well in that tournament too, and I think the U.S. really missed out being there.
Yeah, I mean, Costa Rica's biggest success was the Keylor Navas magic of 2014, but there was still some teams. I don't remember all the teams that made it ahead of the United States, but some teams that you just wouldn't expect to have the same sporting success as USA were in that World Cup, and not seeing USA there was certainly an outrage as Rachmanov comes diving off of his line to stop a pass in towards the center from Ramiz Hamuda. United States really pushing everybody up early on, only in the 13th minute. You love this. You love to see this aggressive reaction. It feels like Tajikistan has barely held on to the ball since scoring their first goal of the night.
Yeah, it looks like all of a sudden the tide started to change here. U.S. has had a couple corners as we've been watching. Nothing too formidable in terms of a chance, but it's going to come for the U.S.
Yeah, you can tell that these chances are building. Couple passes getting inside that 18-yard box. Tajikistan waited until the 64th minute to score in their first match of this U17 tournament. But in these last 10 minutes, United States are now on their second or third corner with Albert on the left side looking to send a ball in. Mathis Albert has been the set-piece taker for the U.S., sends an in-swinger to the far post, but Olympicos across the face of goal and out of bounds. Looks like Hamuda was the intended target, but it did not touch another player.
I like the setup right now, Josh. We got the live score. We got the minute by minute. We have the live standings here. So everything is here for you guys. If you want to see anything else on the screen, make sure to comment. Of course, in order to comment, hit the subscribe button on State of Soccer. We have John Smith chiming in with a couple great comments. Let's make this more of a conversation. I want to hear from you guys, see where you're at. What are your thoughts on this match early on?
And Bakhtaliev was just knocked down by a United States defender. I believe it was Sakiris, or no, I'm reading that number wrong. It was Luka Moisa who commits the foul. No one in the book just yet, but a long free kick for Tajikistan, who play it short and now make the move towards goal.
We have microwave man.
Side pass into the 6-yard box. It's knocked away.
2686 microwave man. Matthias Albert has been pretty good so far.
Yeah, I mean, I came into this tournament not knowing all that much about the U17 players, with the real exception being Kevin Sullivan, and the wingers have really impressed me. Not just Mathis Albert, but on the other side, Nimfacha Bershimas, who I think was, without Kevin Sullivan scoring that goal, Bershimas is the player of the match, in my opinion. He completely dominated that right wing in the first match, and I'd really like to see the United States play to those wings more and really use those wingers in this 4-3-3 to stretch out this Tajikistani team.
Josh, something is on here for the USA. They're about to get a corner. Are you in the 16th minute right now, 17th minute early on?
Well, my screen's definitely a little bit delayed compared to yours.
Okay.
So now that the ball's out for a corner kick, I'm going to try and refresh this to see if I can speed up a little bit, because I think I'm like 30 seconds behind you on the delay. But
all good. One thing I want to say I noticed about this Tajikistan team is they do have some pace. So to be very careful for this US team. Playing the ball in open space. I actually saw a really good segment on CBS with Gareth Bale talking about playing ball into open space. You know, when you have no defenders behind your back, when you feel like you're all moving up front, and you see them doing that exact on the wing, getting some pace, getting the ball out in front of them, and really kind of commanding when the field opens up. And the U.S. has had a hard time tracking them in terms of that. So I think that's where Tajik kind of lives. And, you know, you saw their first goal. That's really where their first goal came from. So technically,
and I think that, sorry to interrupt.
No, yeah, on a technical level, the U.S. is definitely light years ahead of Tajikistan, but we shall see.
But this was an issue for the United States in game one as well. I think they adjusted a lot quicker to Burkina Faso's pace. But these are both really pacey teams and just really quick. And the United States is having a tougher time adjusting to the pressure and the pace of Tajikistan, because the one difference between the quickness of Tajikistan and Burkina Faso is the pressure is a lot more intense from Tajikistan early on in this match, as it was in match one, but it kept on fading and fading from Burkina Faso as the United States' passes got crisper, as their attacks got sharper, and as they just got better and better as the game rolled on. So it'll be interesting to see how long Tajikistan can keep up their quick play, because you can already tell that United States is starting to catch up, and we're only in the 18th minute.
Well, the thing is, Josh, I think, you know, obviously Tajikistan's fighting for their life right now in this tournament, so they have to get a result here. Really, they need to get a win with that goal differential, if you ask me. So you'd like to see every team come out here and play, you know, full steam ahead as hard as possible, every single pass on the pitch. But again, it's the U17, you know, Youth World Cup here, and there's the ebbs and flows to this too. So.
And Albert's controlling now on the left wing, brings two Tajik defenders with him. Crosses towards the 18-yard box and now sends it backwards. United States playing it within the midfield as Securis sends it back to the defense. Gio Villa, high-pressing fullback, sends a looping play-switching pass to Albert, headed away by Shoev for a throw-in.
Yeah, Matthias Albert has looked tremendous. I totally agree. That's a spot-on comment from Microwave Man 2686. If everyone else has any early mentions, players they want to shout out, even on the Tajikistan side, what are your thoughts about Tajikistan thus far here as we're in the 20th minute?
Tajikistan takes it away from the United States, but a poor clearance gets it to Berchimas. He slips it to Kevin Sullivan, tries a touch pass inside, but it's knocked away. Great defense from Rozakov. And it's another corner ball for the United States. I believe that's their fourth of the match. U.S. has been getting to those set pieces early and often.
And Josh, we're completely timed on the same time right now, which is great. So
Kevin Sullivan will take the corner kick this time.
Corners have been really poor for the U.S. so far. I know it looks like they're trying to go a little bit more back post, but these have been very poor corners. And you need to, and from a physicality standpoint, I'm looking at a lot of these Tajikistan players. The U.S. has the physicality over this team, which is not uncommon for U.S. teams. Let's just be honest with just the facilities we have in the U.S. Right now, MLS academies, how advanced they are in terms of preparation on the physical side, on the weightlifting side. This team is a lot smaller. You know, U.S. is a lot bigger. So I think really you just need to hit it inside the box there. Back corner, not doing the job there for Kevin Sullivan on the corner.
Yeah, the second corner kick in a row that they're going for the back post, but the ball just completely went around the face of net and just curls around without finding a head. And you like those ideas. I mean, with a team that the United States has the advantage, as you said, on the physical side, you know, they're bigger, they're taller. So the U.S. is trying to do exactly what you're talking about, just loft the ball inside the 6-yard box and let natural selection do its thing. But the U.S. the passes from all four corners, Albert on the first three and then Sullivan on the last one, just haven't been on target from those corner kicks. And if the U.S. is going to keep getting these corners, I mean, they're averaging a corner kick once every 5 minutes. That is quite a lot. So, they're going to have to get those passes a little bit more crisp. But possession-wise, United States is completely in control now. A stat that they dominated against Burkina Faso, and the U.S. now pushing 77% possession time, but it's still 1-0 Tajikistan.
Early on thoughts, make sure to comment, guys. Make sure to like this stream so we can push this out to as many people as possible. We really want to get a lot of viewership on this to show off the U.S. men's national team U17 team, which we're very excited about. Early on here in group stage, 2nd out of 3 matches. Does the U.S. have what it takes to at least get some points in this one? I think they do, but we'll see, Josh, here in the 22nd minute, just about.
And it's been a lot of control on the wings. Kevin Sullivan has been getting in the action as that one flipped forward by Albert, taken away by Tajikistan. United States defense quickly gets it back as Guimaraes is in control. Now it goes around the horn over to Villa on the right side. But I do want to see some more from Chase Adams. He has been quiet so far for the United States as Berchimas gets a ball in. Great sliding stop by Tajikistan. Ball goes back to Berchimas as he tries to pass it through, deflected right back to him. He'll nub it around towards Villa, makes a nice sliding tackle to knock it away from Tajikistan. Hamuda sends the ball in, deflected away, and Chris Cups has to knock it back, but now Tajiks are in control. Ball up with Ibrahim Zoda.
What I find interesting, too, about these U.S. games, they've been packed. I saw the Czechia versus Burkina Faso match wasn't as crowded. There's a lot of fans packing in for this U.S. U17 team. So I think there might be some excitement over there. Touted prospects like Kevin Sullivan, of course, Matthias Albert, and others.
And I think if you have a player with 10 goals, like we had Chase Adams in February, that 22-0 win over the U.S. Virgin Islands, that's going to turn some heads. The largest margin of victory in U.S. soccer history helped the United States qualify for this tournament with a team that features 14 players that were on the pitch for that win. As this is a shot rolling away towards net, might have been deflected off the foot of Mathis Albert, but he had a chance in the middle of the 18-yard box on a nice pass from Sullivan, and it looked like it was kicked off Tajikistan defender and rolling out of bounds. But it'll end up another corner kick. So it'll be Kevin Sullivan going on the right side of the pitch for the U.S.'s 5th corner of the game.
I'll wait for you to call this one, Josh.
I think they're going to keep on trying to go towards that far post.
Yeah.
Right now, Rozikov really trying to lock down Christopher Cups, who I believe is the tallest player for the United States. Sullivan sends in the in-swinger, and again, it goes across the face of goal. This one gets a head on it. I believe that was Berchimas, but it heads into a sea of white jerseys. And now Tajikistan is running up the pitch. Ball too far forward for Shoaib, and it'll be a throw-in for the United States. And that is looking to be a good effect of this possession for the U.S. They're controlling the ball, and on that last play, it really seems like Tajikistan was just forcing it up the field.
I think Tajikistan's fighting for their life right now. They are really fortunate to get that first goal, and I think they realize that right now with how the tides have changed here. With the U.S. playing like they're capable of.
Kevin Sullivan making some nice moves to get away from 2 defenders. He'll have to cross it in. Ball lobbed over to Fender, headed upstairs, and another Tashiki player gets on it. United States looks to stay in control. Ball rolls out of bounds for a U.S. throw-in. Giovia quickly tosses it in.
We got a fresh
cross, center of the box, header high towards the net, and it's scooped up by Rachmanov. Great idea, as Chase Adams was the intended target on that Giovia cross, and now we had a downed player in the Tajikistan back line.
I think Luke just wants me to say Tajikistan's winning right now. So if you're looking at the live stream, you can see it's 1-0 Tajikistan over the U.S. U17 right now, early on. Here in just about the 26th minute as we watch man down right now for the U.S. Hold up, Josh. I will be right back. I got to plug in the laptop here. In 1 second.
Well, we're in the 26th minute, 1-0 Tajikistan, and the trainers are on the field for the Tajiks, earning a little bit of a hydration break in the 26th minute. A Tajikistan defender is down. I believe it is Meruban Odilzoda, who went down on a slide tackle, didn't come up. As they're taking a look at the play of Mathis Albert on the screen, we did have a mention. Microwave Man said that Mathis Albert has been good so far. Who do you think has been the best player for each side in the match thus far? I want to hear it in the comments, and make sure if you want to join us in the comment section, which is, it's the most fun part, definitely give us a subscribe here on State of Soccer. You got to subscribe to join the conversation, so we certainly appreciate it in advance. Play back on the field as the goalkeeper Mohammad Rahim Rakhmanov from Tajikistan sends a clearance across the midfield. Pinball with some headers as the ball gets forward to Nazariev, the goal scorer for Tajikistan. He has both of their markers, one in each contest. Tackle made by the United States, no foul called. And the red, white, and blue will now get possession. Ball goes back to Aiden Stokes, who hasn't seen all that much action aside from the goal going in within the 3rd minute. Welcome back to Brian.
Sorry, guys. I am back.
He can't deal with me the entire match. He needs some breaks. So,
Yeah, that's actually a good prelude, Josh. So we will at the half take a quick break. And then, of course, we'll be back with our halftime thoughts, our analysis here as we continue to watch this exciting match for Tajikistan. And Josh, at this point, I expect the U.S. to be up 1, 2, 3 goals, maybe 2 goals. So I'm kind of stunned right now, but this is also making our live stream a lot more fun to watch. Let's be honest. Instead of
I can't complain in that regard. Obviously, you 2 Americans here. We're both, we can both admit that we're rooting for the United States. It might be a little bit more obvious with Brian's fancy U.S. soccer swag over there, but it's definitely a shock. You see a team like Tajikistan get pounded by 5 goals, in the United States in a 1-0 match, controlling the ball most of the time. And this is just not the result that either of us expected. But the United States do seem to have the momentum. They're in their attacking third quite a bit against Tajikistan. Berchimas and Kevin Sullivan working on a 1-2 to get the U.S. forward as it goes back to number 2, Gio Villa, giving it to Hamuda.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see, Albert being the future star of the U.S. men's national team. This U17 level is a great level to kind of project who is going to be that next star, who is going to make, teams of the past, of course. Legendary players like Freddie Abdu, of course, just outperforming on the U17 level. Didn't quite work out for him. Haji Wright, someone we've seen now make the jump to the U.S. senior team, have some success. He scored a lot of goals at this level. We'll see, Albert, Sullivan as they make this transition.
And we've got another corner kick, 6th of the match for the United States. As we have mentioned, corner kicks have not been the best for the USA. Here's Sullivan setting one to the far post. Hamuda! And the United States tie it up. Sullivan to Berchimas, not Hamuda, on the header. And there is the equalizer. 1-1 the score. 6 times a charm on the corner kick. Kevin Sullivan to Nimfasha Berchimas, and it's 1-1.
1-1 USA. And honestly, Josh, I was kind of condemning the back corner approach there, back post approach. Not really, US having some pretty poor corner kicks, but there we go. 1-1. It is all tied up here for the US. This is good stuff.
And they've gone to that back post on every single corner. And it seemed like the first 5 just all went across the goal and out of bounds. This one perfectly placed, and Berchimas was untouched, and he gets the goal in the 30th. So 27 minutes later, It is 1-1, and the United States are back on level footing. And once the score updates, the live standings will show that if the score holds, USA will go into the final game of the group stage, which we'll have on a State of Soccer watch-along right here on State of Soccer. That will be on November 11th, our next watch-along. I'll be with Jamie Lauder for that one.
Yeah,
And
you guys want to stick around for that one. Jamie Lauder being lead an analyst actually at Darlington Football Club in England. So professional analyst joining the show for that third and final match with our play-by-play here. So it was great commentary from Jamie as well.
And Kevin Sullivan had a nice chance in front of the net. Good passing, and a ball from in between the 18 and 6-yard box gets knocked away. Meanwhile, Mustafa Hazenbekov is down for Tajikistan. So we'll go back to Microwave Man, who's really leading this conversation in the comments right now. I think we'll start seeing U.S. score more goals now that Tajikistan has to open up. And I think that's a good point, not just the wishful thinking aspect, but you can already tell that the United States is better conditioned than Tajikistan, and they are wearing this team down.
Yeah, and
so
it kind
I
of goes
think
back
that between both of those, we're going to see some changes in the score line. Sorry, Brian.
No, you're all right, Josh. What I want to do, actually, I'm going to take a couple of minutes, pull up my phone here, and I'm curious what academies these Tajikistan players play in, right? Is it mostly domestic in Tajikistan? I'm not that, aware of any of the clubs over there. So if anyone's tuning in from Tajikistan, no disrespect, we just want to know a little bit more about, what you guys have cooking over in Tajikistan in terms of youth football. But right now, it looks like the U.S., at a pace level, when it comes to just their shape, their form, and fitness is right now taking it to Tajikistan.
Foul called as Ramazan Bakhtaliev gets knocked down to the ground. Plain as day, the foul will look to be on Sekiris.
Guys, we have 50 live viewers right now. Smash that like, subscribe, comment. I want to hear where you're from. All 50 of you right now. Let's comment. 56 of you right now. It's going to keep going up because the game is heating up. Comment where you're tuning in from. Let's have a little bit of competition here. I think we got. Actually, I missed Nurls Gulkin. So Nurls, I don't know if we gave you a shout out. Where are you from, Luke? I want to know where you're from. John Smith, Microwave Man, and anyone else. Go ahead, drop us a comment, drop us a like, and definitely want to hear from you.
To start it off, I'm from New York. Brian's from Philly, which means with New York City FC and Philadelphia Union playing each other in the MLS Cup playoffs, Brian and I are going to get in a fist fight in a couple weeks. So get excited for that.
That's exactly right, Josh. We got Majaz tuning in from Oregon. Awesome. Pacific Northwest. Some great soccer football up there.
Probably a Portland Timbers fan, my guess. We're talking about the MLS again.
Yeah.
Still 1-1 here in Qatar. Tajikistan trying to escape a sea of blue jerseys as they cross the middle of the field. Kicked into a U.S. defender. Down goes Odil Zoda. Foul called again on Sekiris. No card, though. Just a simple standing tackle gone wrong. And it'll be a long free kick for Tajikistan. And we talked about some of the youth academies, wondering just where these Tajikistan's players play in the youth system in their home country, where we have so many different players in this MLS system, players who were in MLS Next, players who have already made senior team appearances. We mentioned Kevin Sullivan becoming the youngest MLS debutant since Freddie Adu earlier this season with the Philadelphia Union. And so many of these players are guys that we'll be seeing in the U.S. senior team and the MLS in years to come.
Yeah, Josh, I'm actually pulling up Tajikistan's U17 roster right now to get an idea of where they are from in terms of their clubs. Tuning in from Connecticut, so we got Nurls Skulkin, Detroit. Put your hands up for Detroit. Let's go. We got tuning in from Connecticut. It looks like Carlos Guzman. I love Connecticut, not too far away down here in Pennsylvania, the Philly area. Good to have you, Carlos.
And I'm a big fan of 8 Mile. So for Neurals, for everybody in the 313, put your, I'm not going to say that part, hands up and follow me. Long cross in from Albert. Kevin Sullivan was in ahead of the defense. Offside flag stayed down. Ball stayed long. And it's a goal kick. But another beautiful ball in from Mathis Albert. I think Kevin Sullivan just needed to grow maybe an inch or two, and that could have been 2-1.
Yeah, so it looks like I'm actually taking a look now at the Tajik footballers here. Most of them playing in domestic Tajikistan, so that's no surprise at their age. Dushanbe 83 being the main club that stands out to me, that it looks to be a powerhouse in youth development. So Dushanbe 83 here. Yeah, definitely a powerhouse when it comes to its youth players. A lot of the players here just have a young roster. Interesting stuff, Josh. It's always cool with these these youth national team games and just any national team matchup, learning about these countries, learning about these different federations.
It's so like the youth development in soccer is fascinating because, in America, we're so used to just, you play a sport in middle school or, elementary school, high school, all of that. But the way that soccer develops their players is so different from every other sport. And, you can tell that they're blueprints in each country, but even country by country, even in, like England, Spain, some of the bigger soccer countries, it's still so different in, a Spanish youth system compared to United States or even Tajikistan or everything like that.
Exactly right. And Josh, not to change topics, but Carlos Guzman, Julian Hall, yes, I believe he is injured. A shout out to Philly. Went to Ocean City High School, not too far. There we go, Ocean City, New Jersey, near Wildwood. I know exactly where that's at. And classmates are 95% Eagles fans. Fly, Eagles, fly, go Birds. Thank you, Carlos. Josh is not like that one, I know, but
no, go Phils though. I'll give you that.
Okay, yeah, well, that's.
But no, as you mentioned, Brian, Julian Hall not even on the team sheet for today's match among a couple of players who are not available for this second game. United States with a lot thinner of a bench. Julian Hall was the starting striker in the first match, but not on the team sheet for this one. Maxi Carrizo held out of the starting lineup for this one.
Yeah, definitely a couple of
CFC youth team.
Couple key players missing for the U.S. But I would say early on, not looking too good. But here we got one back, and I'm happy right now. I'm not, overall, I expected the U.S. obviously to have a pretty demanding lead. We still have a couple more minutes to play here in the first half, but at the same time, I think in the past 30 minutes, after that 10-minute mark, they've really kind of turned things around, turned the tide here.
You're absolutely right. I mean, they just, were kind of surprised, it felt like, from how quickly Tajikistan came out of the gate, how hard that they pushed in the first couple of minutes. But Tajikistan already seems almost like they're running out of gas right now. So It'll be interesting, especially to see with the first half nearing a close now. United States seems to be just getting started. Tajikistan doesn't seem like they have much more left in the tank. Sloppy challenge there that was not called a foul, and the ensuing through ball easily headed away by the United States. And they're just, you can see if you're watching this game right now, and Brian, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, the United States just seems to be playing faster than Tajikistan right now. Just they've got more speed. They're quicker with and without the ball. They're just moving on a different plane right now.
They're definitely taking it to Tajikistan right now. I totally agree, Josh. And we were not seeing that in the first 10 minutes. So it's definitely a different level of play, which is what we came to expect from the U.S. team. Anyway, how would you rate their first match against Burkina Faso, though, in reality? I know we got the win. That's all that matters. But any takeaways from that, Josh, from that first match?
Yeah, I mean, I think in a lot of ways, United States misjudged Burkina Faso in a similar way that they did to Tajikistan here, where they they came out slow against both teams. I think they definitely need a little more of a sense of urgency at the start of these matches. But the United States seems to be a late blooming team, and it was about the 60th minute, I think, when they put Kevin Sullivan on. That really changed the scope of the match, because once he came in, he just injected energy in the midfield. And as soon as he started touching the ball, you could tell that a goal was starting to build up. And it had to be Kevin Sullivan getting that goal, because until he came in that match, it just didn't seem like the U.S. had that much life, particularly in their midfield. So I'm going to give him, I mean, the first half definitely diminishes the grade that I would give him, but overall, I think the U.S. would get a B for match number 1, and they might have just scored in match number 2. If Chase Adams was offsides, then that goal will be negated. But Chase Adams just came out of nowhere, and it looks like this goal is going to stand. So 2-1 United States, and the 10-goal scorer against the U.S. Virgin Islands.
I don't know, Josh.
Has potentially given the USA a lead, but it's taking some time for this goal to stand. He might be offsides. Brian, what do you think?
I think he's offsides on this one based off of the replay I just saw. Love to hear the thoughts here from the comments. What you guys think? Is he offsides? Is he onsides? Where you're tuning in from? Definitely, though, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like he was maybe 1 foot. I'm not talking about the unit of measurement. I'm talking about literally like the size of his foot offsides. They are going to review the goal, but right now Tajikistan is standing at the center circle like they're going to have a kickoff to restart play in this 43rd minute. They are reviewing the goal scoring chance, but it looks like it's going to be overturned. And the referee is on the field to make the decision.
Yep.
And the result of the VAR looks like it's going to be overturned. So it's back to 1-1. Adams was offsides, and Amy Bruni called it. He was off. Flag was up. Still 1-1, but another example of the United States just completely outpacing Tajikistan as the scoreboard officially goes down to 1-1.
Oh. So, Amy Bruni, thank you for tuning in. Where are you commenting from?
Amy Bruni, our unofficial VAR referee here on State of Soccer.
I think Luke is just playing with
what a save! Rachmanov just snatches a Chase Adams header out of the air.
But what a ball. What a ball from
Beautiful.
Kevin Sullivan.
And to go back to Kevin Sullivan had the ball in when Adams was offsides, a near perfect shot. But to go back to, we were talking about just grading the United States' first performance. I think Julian Hall wasn't at his best. He wasn't the Julian Hall that you'd expect in game 1. And they really missed just a true number 9, like Chase Adams has really looked like in these past 5 or 10 minutes. He had a quiet start to the game, but started to get him involved, getting him to make those dangerous runs have really bolstered the U.S. attack in these last few minutes.
Yeah, no, Chase looks really good out there right now. And I think, if I had to give a nod, maybe Albert, maybe Chase, definitely in terms of player of the match so far. It's so interesting, Josh. You mentioned, a number 9 player, and the U.S. for so many years has struggled to find that formidable number 9. Of course, we've had some great forwards in the past, but technically gifted. I mean, outside of like someone like a Dempsey, who also could drop into other positions, we finally have a pretty deep roster at the senior national team level for number 9s, and it looks like the youth level is the same way here with Chase Adams. Yeah,
I mean, it really seems like, because even with the guys like Pepe right now, you don't see them as a traditional number 9. And frankly, I haven't seen a traditional number 9 for the U.S. since Josie Altidore.
Yeah, and we're talking a couple years since Josie was really performing at a high level at the U.S. men's national team.
And that one taken off the line by the Tajikistan defense. United States pinballing it around. The last shot was Kiris. Sullivan had a chance. Couple saves and a defensive play made it. Now it's bouncing towards the net and another goal line clearance. Sekiris trying to keep it in the box. 3 minutes of extra time added as the Tajiks are still trying to clear it. And finally, they get a boot to one and send it out of bounds. But United States still in dangerous position, attacking third on a Giovia throw-in. And now Berchimas gets a move. He makes a cross in, headed away immediately. Diving stop by Rozikov, and it'll be the 7th corner kick of the match for the United States. And Berchimas, who gets that ball out of bounds off a Tajikistani head, will throw it back in. And there is a player tripped up. Sliding tackle made by Odil Zoda. And
I think, Josh, we're about to see a free kick opportunity here. A free kick opportunity for the U.S. on the right side, potentially, in a pretty dangerous position.
And Sekiris winning that free kick. I love seeing his aggression. He is just so fast turning corners. And again, another look at Chase Adams. Had a great chance to head it in. Sekiris on the rebound. And 2 goal line clearances in the matter of about 2 minutes for Tajikistan to keep this match tied.
Josh, do your thing here on the play-by-play. I'm going to sit back and watch here. U.S. in a dangerous position. Could we see a goal here before the close of the first half?
Gives us a free kick in the corner, maybe 20 yards out at most. On the side, it is Albert and Sullivan standing over it. I imagine Sullivan will be the free kick taker with his left foot as the United States crowd the 6-yard box to try and get a shot. Albert leaves it for Sullivan, sends the low cross, but it slams on the outside of the net, and it'll be a goal kick. Chase Adams was near, but I believe that shot attempt goes awry off the foot of Kevin Sullivan.
You can see the back post there, some frustrations from the U.S. as there was clear look on the back post. Sullivan trying to go near post. Didn't quite work out for the U.S. here. But a couple crazy passages of play, Josh, for the U.S. And Tajikistan, honestly, got to give it to them. Defensively, they're getting absolutely destroyed right now, but at the same time, still not letting up a goal.
No, they're bending but not breaking. I mean, I don't think it's lost on the Tajikistan players that the United States players are probably a bit more physically gifted than these Tajikistan players, but they're playing really well technically and getting in good position. They're in a good spot on the offensive side now as a move is made inside from Shoev. That was Ibrahim Zoda. Misses on the shot attempt, and we are now in the waning moments of added time. And it should be a corner kick. Would be the first for Tajikistan coming off the foot of Giovia. If it's a corner, it'll likely be the last attack of the half as we are above the +3. And Luke, to answer your question, yes, they did unfortunately take the goal away. It is 1-1 with in the 3rd minute of extra time. And it looks like they're going to review that last play to see if it went off of Via or if it was a corner.
Unfortunately, FOTMOB's a little behind here, guys. I apologize on the score. Nothing we can do about that, but it is 1-1 right now. U17 US versus U17 Tajikistan with live standing updates. Actually, the live standings looks to be incorrect as well, given the 2-1. So, yeah, the U.S., though, with the draw, this one would still be top of the table.
A draw keeps the U.S. at atop the table. Currently, the live standings, United States with a goal differential of +1. They have 4 points. Czech Republic in second. They have the best goal differential in the group at +4. 3 points, 1 win, 1 loss coming earlier today to Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is just behind the Czech Republic with the same record, same on points. They are even in terms of their goal differential at 0. And it looks like we might be getting a potential handball review. Giovia had his left hand into his body, but it was inside the box, so they're looking at it. And the ball may have hit off the arm. So on the VAR, I don't know if they're pointing to the penalty spot or the corner flag right now.
This is going to be interesting.
I'd be surprised if they called that a handball. What the refs are really looking at is after the play on the slide, the left arm of Giovia goes out. After it deflects off his foot, it goes away from his body. And after the slide tackle, it does make contact supposedly to the hand, knocked out of bounds. It was not called a handball. It will not be a penalty kick for Tajikistan. And that is how we are going to end the first half. A very exciting finish to that first half. High-octane play from the United States. And, Brian, we talked about how they came out a little bit flat at the beginning, but in the last 30 minutes of this contest, the United States really stepped up their game.
Exactly. I mean, really the last, I would say 35, 36, 37 minutes of that first half, U.S. really coming through, playing at a capable level to what we expected. Still really interesting. 1-1 going here into this halftime. Guys, we have an exciting one, so stay with us here at State of Soccer. And I mean, I'm setting up right now for commentary. We're going to be back in the second half for some commentary. But guys, this is really shaping out to be a good one, Josh.
It absolutely is. 1-1 the score. Mohamed Nazariev in the 3rd minute for Tajikistan. The equalizer off a corner coming from Nimfasha Berchimas in the 30th minute. And that is how we have it tied 1-1. We want to hear some of your best comments, even if it's in languages that I don't read. But thank you guys for tuning in from all around the world. And we will chat with you guys after the break. And we will be referencing some of our favorite comments during our little halftime show. And 1-1 Tajikistan and U.S. tied up in the U17 World Cup. Second half coming up next. We are back here on State of Soccer. Josh Sperber, Brian McDonough, 1-1 United States and Tajikistan with 45 minutes left to go in the second game of Group I action for the United States. Aiden Stokes back in net.
Josh, having some technical difficulties on my end here.
Yeah, Tajikistan is going to be kicking off, and Brian is getting the stream back online. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but we got Berchimas in the 30th after Nazariev in the 3rd, and it looks like each team will bring back their same starting lineups with no substitutions just yet in Group I action. United States currently leading the way with 4 points in this tie, 1 point each for a tie, 3 points for a win, as Tajikistan sends a long ball trying for another quick strike, but it gets bounced away by the United States defense. And that one goes out of bounds for a Tajikistan throw-in. We want to hear what you guys think in the comments. What do you guys like about the first half? What are you looking forward to in the second half? Please join us in the comment section. We always appreciate your input. Again, apologies for the technical difficulties here, but we'll have everything up and running as soon as we can. Until then, it's Tajikistan controlling the ball deep in their attacking third. But a foul called on number 9, Nasrullo Ashturalizoda, as United States plays it back with Stokes. In the first half, the United States dominated in terms of possession time, with 75% possession time in the first half. United States in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-1-3, as it says on the television, with Cabin Sullivan as that attacking midfielder, Albert on the left wing, and Mathis Albert sends the pass back to the middle. United States playing back with their defense. It's Berchimas, Adams, and Albert up front. Berchimas and Albert on the wings, and on defense, Villa, Cups, Hamuda, and Guimaraes in front of Aiden Stokes. Berchimas sends it back. United States getting into the middle of the park with Hamuda, brings it forward, sends a pass in, touched over to Sullivan, but it's intercepted. And now Tajikistan will try and clear it. They have the same lineup as they did in the first half, as Brian McDonough has returned from our technical issues, and looks like he's gotten everything fixed as usual.
It is not a live stream, Josh, unless there's some technical difficulties, right? So that's what we always say. Oh, yeah. I even stretch that so far as it's not a live production without something going on. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. But we're all good. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Don't disparage us too much in the comments. I'm going to do a mercy. Out, but I can't take it. I'm going to do a plug here. You guys, we are running the 1 and 2s, running the stream, connected it up here. Subscribe. Please follow us along here. We're bringing you the best we possibly can do here. We're 2-man operation on this stream, and we really take a lot of pride in this. So hope you guys are enjoying this. So definitely like, subscribe, follow along. And calling us a 2-man operation implies that I'm doing much more work than Brian is, which is not true. He's doing all the real stuff. But yeah, still like, subscribe, join us in the comments. And still 1-1 here. United States tries to send it forward. Sullivan sends a nice ball, but off comes the goalie. Rachmanov clears it off his line. U.S. takes it away from the defense, gets it back. Adams rifles one at the keeper, but it's parried away. Rachmanov with another impressive save from in tight. And once again, the USA goes to the corner flag. Josh, look what I'm drinking out of right now. Ahead of our NYCFC Union matchup in the playoffs coming up. I'm excited for that one. That's going to be a good one. I did think it was Philly's year until now, because now I'm very biased towards New York City FC. How did we not score before halftime? We had so many chances. That's a good point. We had a lot of chances. Sometimes you can't always convert on every chance. And give it to Tajikistan. At least their positioning was in the right spot, right? A couple goal line clearances there. And they're showing a couple of them. Cabin Sullivan had one taken off his foot by the goaltender. The shot on the deflection
came right back at the goaltender. It was knocked away by Rachmanov. And the trainer's looking at the Tajiki keeper.
Yep.
Looks like he's going to be okay.
Second half here. I think in Qatar right now, it's, we're in November, similar to the weather. I was there a couple of years ago for the World Cup in 2022. It still gets hot, right? But this is an evening match, so it's a little cooler. But, players are still sweating. It's definitely hotter in Qatar than it is in the U.S. right now, especially in the Northeast.
Some injuries or stoppage for injuries have been adding things on. Looks like the refs are going to look at this in VAR, maybe just to see. They're looking at a potential offsides call, it appears, which I don't think we're going to see. I'm not really sure what they're reviewing, honestly. Couple of tackles, maybe trying to see if Chase Adams was offside, if one of the people forward were offsides.
We're about to get it here in a second, Josh. I'll let you make the call.
Looks like we'll see it. Oh, now I see what they're reviewing. The defender who blocked the second shot, the rebound shot by Adams, the ball hit him in the left shoulder. And the refs are reviewing to see how far into his body it was, if they're going to grant the United States a penalty. And it doesn't look like there is going to be one. No goal, still 1-1. Should be a USA corner kick. As we get set, and it will be a corner kick. Should be number 8 on the night for the U.S. Seven of the night. First of the second half. Another one to the far post, eluding everybody. Cups, Adams were going after it, but another corner kick sent too long from the United States. This one coming from Kevin Sullivan, the architect of the corner assist to Berchimas.
Yeah, and you can see right here the stats. I'm not sure how accurate these are because the corners are blanked out as well as offsides, but total shots, 6. I think there's a little bit more for the U.S. Possession looks about accurate here.
According to ESPN, just to kind of build off of that, United States with about 75% possession time, 11 shot attempts, 6 of them on goal, and a total of now 7 corner kicks, 3 saves, the only shot on goal for Tajikistan, the Nazariev goal in the 3rd minute. That's their only shot attempt as Kevin Sullivan's banger goes wide. 4 fouls to 8 in favor of Tajikistan. They have the 4 and 3 saves for their starting goaltender, Rachmanov.
Josh, early predictions here in the as we start the second half. We're about 7 minutes in. What do you think for the U.S. in this second half?
Corner from Albert is knocked out of bounds, so there's number 8. Number 9's coming up shortly. I think it's going to be 3-1 USA. I really think they're definitely going to get a second goal. I'd be genuinely shocked if the United States doesn't score a second. But if Tajikistan runs out of gas like they started to in the first half, the floodgates could open for this U.S. team because they've had so many chances. And just with the amount of chances they've had, the total control of possession. Oh, and that header almost made it 2-1. Header and a rebound off the post and over the crossbar, and the United States almost just made it 2-1. But that's just another example of how close the U.S. has been. Some of it, you have to give a lot of credit to Mahadrim Rachmanov. He has made some excellent saves in the net, but the United States just missed a big opportunity on consecutive headers from Berchimas there. It just really seems like they're going to add more than one in the final 30 minutes and change.
And I can see right now, Yannick Sado commenting. I believe you're saying, why aren't you showing the live stream or something to that? It's in Russian. However, this is what we do. We track it. We watch along. The actual stream we cannot show will get taken down and demonetized, and our channel will get in trouble. So watch along with us. You can always, if you have it, put it up. if you just want to listen to it, that's why we provide play-by-play commentary, so you guys know exactly what's happening. And we also show the score here in live.
And for those of you looking to watch the game along with the stream in the United States, it's on Peacock and FS2, also on the Fox Sports app. Kevin Sullivan starts the corner, was the 9th for the United States. Tajikistan with heavy pressure, and it goes back to the United States center back partnership of Christopher Cupps and Ramiz Hamuda, who have looked quite strong in conjunction with the U.S. back line. Intercepted pass from Tajikistan. Kevin Sullivan keeps it in bounds, though he knocks it. Oh, I thought he knocked it out of bounds. Stays in bounds, and the United States trying to keep it back over the midfield line. Ball goes back with Guimaraes. Little 1-2 with Hamuda as the line returns to its regular positioning for the United States. 1-1 the score. 10 minutes into the first half. The most recent goal, an equalizer from Berchimas in the 30th.
Yeah, Josh, Tajikistan has held them scoreless now for 25 minutes. A lot of chances on the goal line, like we said, especially Microwave Man commenting there right before the end of the first half. Yeah, definitely the chances for the U.S. as we look at a goal kick here for Tajikistan.
And that's good defense by Shoaib, just using his body to shield the oncoming United States attacker from that ball and keep it with Tajikistan, who has been scoreless since the 3rd minute and hasn't taken another shot attempt since that 3rd minute goal from Mohammad Nazriev, the man who has tallied both goals for Tajikistan so far this tournament.
Yeah, let's Josh, I'm going to look into him, see exactly, where he's playing, what's his goal to appearance ratio. I saw, definitely a nice finish there earlier on.
Berchimas makes a nice move, gets into some space. He's knocked down in the 18-yard box, and I think we're going to have a penalty kick. Berchimas was getting away from 2 defenders. I believe it'll be Abu Samed Melik Morodov who will receive the booking. But Berchimas tackled from behind in the 18-yard box. Looks now upon the replay review, it looks like it was Ramazan Bakhtaliev who gets the foul. Clear trip from behind. And now at the penalty spot, the United States will have the chance to take the lead for the first time today. Tajikistan obviously unhappy about the penalty call, but it was very clear that Ramazan Bakhtaliev used his right leg, kind of hooked in front of Berchimas and tripped him, stopping a move to goal after he had just beaten 2 Tajikistan defenders. And now it's Kevin Sullivan, the left-footed, undisputed star of this United States U10 World Cup team. He has the chance to score not just what would be his second of the tournament, but his second go-ahead goal of the tournament.
Yeah, this is really big right now for Kevin Sullivan here. Ice in his veins. Can he get the job done? Obviously playing at a very high level with the Philadelphia Union, signing for Manchester City, so we'll see him over there in a couple of years. But this is one of the biggest stages he's played in at the U17 World Cup.
It'll have to wait. The referees will take another look on VAR, but Kevin Sullivan, in the short sample size we have seen in this U17 tournament, the moments have not been too big for him. A flashback to Wednesday, where the United States had a deadlock without a goal against against Burkina Faso. And Kevin Sullivan comes on in the 60th minute, immediately provides a spark of adrenaline in the United States offense, building towards a goal that Sullivan himself scored in the 79th minute. That became the decisive goal of the match. Made it 1-0 USA. That would end up being the final score.
Yeah, and that's for Kevin, who scores a lot at the MLS next level, so the second division of U.S. soccer. He's yet to score a first-team goal with the Philadelphia Union. So for him at the this grand scale level of the U17 World Cup to get that goal was really great for his confidence here too, Josh. And I think if this goes to the line here, to the spot here, he's going to put it in the back of the net.
I certainly hope you're right, but there is a chance he doesn't go to the spot. It doesn't look like the penalty is in too much dispute. The only real dispute in that is if the elbow of Melik Moradov knocked down Berchimas or if it was the trip of Bakhtaliev. But the VAR seems to be over. They also looked at a potential handball against Berchimas, but it appears that nothing will be changed. Kevin Sullivan will go to the spot after Nimfasha Berchimas drew a decisive penalty right on the edge of the 6-yard box after beating 2 Tajikistan defenders. And now it'll be Kevin Sullivan from the penalty spot for the United States against 16-year-old netminder Muhammadreem Rakhmonov for Tajikistan. Sullivan lining up, left-footed striker, youngest player on the team. He lines up, shoots, and that will give the USA the lead. Kevin Sullivan once again slots one into the corner, this one going to the left side. Cool as you like. He beats the goaltender, and the United States take the lead in the 61st.
Josh, not only does he beat the goalkeeper, that's an old school Panenka right there. That's a sick Panenka from Kevin Sullivan. Just calm, cool, collected, as you said. For the 16-year-old to have that level of confidence at this stage, the U17 World Cup, Panenka down the middle in a game that is extremely important for the U.S. I was gonna say something. I'm gonna hold my, what I'm gonna say because we are on a live stream here. I want to throw some words out there, but that's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, Sergio Ramos try a Panenka in some random fall La Liga match for Real Madrid, but in a cup tie, a decisive goal, just going right down the middle against a goalkeeper who has been the man of the match for Tajikistan so far. That takes some serious confidence. And Kevin Sullivan, as we were just talking about, Brian, not too big for the moment.
No, that's special. He's a special player, Josh.
Yeah.
And Man City saw something in him. Of course, the Philadelphia Union, who do looks like you play on here for the U.S. One of the best academy systems for the Union, I was going to say. Definitely producing some of the best young talent, and Kevin Sullivan being one of them.
There we have the Adamson brothers. That's a nice lofted through ball going forward. Albert beats the goaltender. It's headed to Sullivan. Sullivan tries to control it. He's knocked down. No foul called. Adams dances around some defenders, but it's headed away for a corner kick. Ahmadjan Shoaib with a great intervention the last second. United States almost came back with a goal in open play after the penalty kick equalizer.
And if you're joining us right now, the score is 2-1 U.S. over Tajikistan because Kevin Sullivan's Panenka PK, unbelievable penalty there for Kevin Sullivan. And it looks like, Josh, your 3-1 scoreline, we're on pace for that. So let's see.
I've never been right before, so this would be a first. Another corner kick, a good one from Albert. I believe Rakhmonov got a hand on that after it hit the head of Merodijin Rozikov. And now Albert back to the corner flag again. In swinger, low hanging, and it hits the outer portion of the net on the left side. So a goal kick. 11 corner kicks, though, for the United States in the first hour and change of this match. I mean, just the grit and the toughness that you need to get those 11 set pieces is remarkable.
Now, I want to say something, though. I don't be surprised here if Tajikistan gives the U.S. something to worry about. I think this team is definitely a fighting team. They've been struggling right now, but if they get the ball out on the wing, like I said before, if they get some space in front of them, they're very quick. They're very pacey. So I wouldn't be surprised. The U.S. needs to be a little careful here.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with a lot of the drawbacks of a quick team like Tajikistan is that their speed replaces strength a lot of times, and they are being out-muscled. They're step for step in terms of pace and just terms of hustling with the United States. They're step for step every level of the way. But it's the strength, it's the physicality of the United States players, especially Hamuda and Cups in the center back partnership. That physicality is the advantage for the United States, because any of those 50-50 balls, it seems like the United States are winning.
Totally. No, you're exactly right, Josh. This U17 team playing like we would kind of want to see the senior national team play, to be honest, right now.
You're absolutely right, as Chase Adams can't get on the other end of that cross. Gio Villa sent it over, and it's quickly sent back in from Tajikistan. And I think another reason that the United States is going to have to worry about Tajikistan, as you said, is because in all levels of game, they move quickly. Quick throw-in leads to a potential shot. Their attacker, it was Ibrahim Zoda, tries to traverse the U.S. defense before it's cleared away.
Yeah, they're a well-coached team. They're
Movement.
disciplined. Definitely, Josh. Disciplined Tajikistan side, well-coached. Level of play, man-to-man at a technical level, not as high as the U.S. But right now, the team, the Tajiks need to be proud of themselves. And I think that they can still really get something going here for the U.S., especially if the U.S. sits back. We definitely need another goal here. And I think that puts it away for the U.S. if you do get that third goal.
And just based on goal differential, a loss would virtually eliminate Tajikistan from the knockout round. The United States, with the extra 3 points, would not officially clinch a space in the knockout round, but based on their higher goal differential than everyone but the Czech Republic, who they play on Wednesday, the final game of the group stage, gives them the clear space in the driver's seat, as if this score holds, the United States would just need a draw from with the Czech Republic to guarantee first place in their group.
Yeah, that's going to be, I don't want to look ahead of this match, of course, but that's going to be a really good one, Josh. And like we said, we'll be here for that one too. Jamie Lauder on the mic alongside Josh. I'll be unfortunately missing that one. However, guys, stay tuned. Subscribe to State of Soccer. And like I said in the first half, comment where you're tuning in from. We want to see you in this stream. We want to see you in the next stream. We want to see you in every stream that the U.S. is advancing here at this U17 World Cup.
And as you can tell from our stream, we don't limit our languages to just English. I apologize to Yannick and User. We don't speak Russian, but we appreciate you guys joining in and making us a more multicultural broadcast here on State of Soccer.
Yeah, definitely.
Hablamos español, so we can do that.
I can pronounce Cyrillic, but I don't know what it says. So I'm afraid I'm hesitant to pronounce it out loud.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try because I know I'll mess it up. I'll just be honest with you guys. And another ball sent across. Tajikistan, last couple of moves forward, have been trying that cross-field pass to Abdullah Ibrahim Zoda to try and spark something for the Tajikistan offense. And on clearances, they're getting very close to Aiden Stokes, who has had a pretty relaxing night in between the pipes after that third-minute goal from Nazariev.
Yeah, Nazariev, I was trying to look him up to see where he plays. So maybe if Yannick or user DP6KD are tuning in from Tajikistan, if you guys can let us know a little bit about him, even if you send it in Russian, we will translate it on our end.
United States had another couple chances in net, but Tajikistan able to clear it away. They just send it off the U.S. player out of bounds as we approach the 70th minute. 2-1 the score, United States winning. Berchimas, the equalizer in the 30th. Having Sullivan the go-ahead penalty kick in the 61st. Kevin Sullivan with the go-ahead goal for this USA U17 team. The go-ahead on a beautiful ball inside the 6-yard box in the first game. And then the penalty kick right down the middle. Cold as ice on the Panenka.
Yeah, Panenka was ridiculous, Josh. I mean, it's I did not expect him to do that, but I know he has a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. He can catch some heat from that at sometimes for the Philadelphia Union fans, but he backs it up. Like, I mean, look at, at the age, the confidence, and that's what you want to see from a youth player. He's having fun. He really enjoys himself out there. You can see it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, these guys are, they're playing hard, and you can tell that they're having a good time out there, not just because they've come back on the scoreline, but something that I just love seeing from this U17 team is not getting discouraged when they're off to a slow start. Both games, they came out a little bit flat, and in this one, they get a nice gut punch within the first 5 minutes, letting up that goal, and that really motivated this USA team to just step it up and continue to just play really good soccer on this big stage.
This is a big stage. A lot of these players, this for a lot of these youth players, this is the biggest stage they'll get to. They may play professional, football, soccer, of course, get to that next level, but to represent your country, right? For some of these guys, this might be their last time, or it might be the start of a senior national career that will span for 5, 10, 15 years. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen so many of the stars, even if we're just talking about U.S. soccer here, we've seen so many of the biggest U.S. soccer stars like Landon Donovan, Clint Dempsey, Christian Pulisic, Weston McKennie, all these guys coming up through the system, through the U17 tournament. And, you can look at those guys and see, hey, successes of the youth national team. But not everyone on those teams had that level of success. And before we continue, we do have some substitutions. Ramiz Hamuda and Mathis Albert are subbed off. And on for the United States, Jameer Johnson and Enrique Martinez. I believe it is their first appearance of the tournament for both players. So Hamuda off and Albert off, Martinez and Johnson on for the United States.
Yeah, some key substitutions here laid on. I think really, honestly, these are physical players, quick players. They also want to get that third goal, but defensively, you need to watch yourself. The U.S. doesn't want to give up 3 points here. And on a counter, Tajikistan in space, like I've been saying all along, can be dangerous.
Yeah, but time is not on their side. We've got 19 minutes plus extra time to go in this one. And thanks to the Cabin Sullivan penalty kick about 10 minutes ago, the United States with a 2-1 advantage.
Guys, make sure I'm going to hear you for the last 20 minutes, and then we'll do a little post-match of this whole game here. I want to hear where you're commenting from, where you're tuning in from. We got 40 viewers and counting here. It's been a pretty steady amount of viewership here for this State of Soccer stream.
And a shout out to John Smith for his comment, getting the score fixed on our little scoreboard game tracker there. We appreciate your help. But yeah, we want to hear what you guys want to say in the comments. What do you like about the United States so far? I know we had a Mathis Albert fan earlier on. Are you upset with him getting subbed off? As a shot from Tajikistan goes wide. That is Bakhtaliev on the shot. Their first shot for Tajikistan since the 3rd minute of the game. First shot attempt, period. Coming
kind of
there.
Came out of nowhere, Josh.
And exactly. They just kind of ran up the field, found a little open space, and took a shot. But just the second shot attempt of the game, and that says something about the USA defense.
Yeah, this USA defense has been on shutdown, but also this offense just continues to press the ball up the pitch. And really, the Tajiks aren't getting a lot of opportunities here. Let's get a couple more goals, John Smith says.
And yeah, I'm in agreement there. It's nice that John Smith and the U.S. national team want my 3-1 scoreline prediction to be correct. So I appreciate that. They also just showed the difference in shot attempts on the graphic, another testament to how strong the United States have been. 1 shot on goal, 2 attempts for Tajikistan, 11 shots on goal, 21 attempts for the United States, who get another shot attempt, and that one pings off the crossbar on a nice attempt from Jameer Johnson, who has replaced Albert on the left wing, and already a curler centrally located on the net, but off the top of the bar for Jameer Johnson.
Yeah, Jameer Johnson there with a nice attempt on goal. Very close. Top bar up. But yeah, definitely dangerous here for the U.S. late on.
The United States, their 2 substitutions have been the only one thus far. Enrique Martinez now serving as the left center back in replacement of Hamuda, as he'll now get a chance. Nice clearance going back towards the goaltender. And a quick getaway from Stokes, almost as it pokes away. The United States still maintaining the clearance despite heavy pressure from the Tajiks.
Yeah, Tajiks are playing very physical right now. So they're stepping up the physicality. They realize they need to really press here. They only have about 15 minutes plus added time. Josh, time is running out. The U.S. needs to get this 3rd goal because I'm getting a little bit nervous. Not just saying this to make the stream more exciting, because I actually really could see a world where the Tajikistan on the wing make something happen here. I keep saying it, but we need to get this 3rd goal on the U.S. end.
And I really think you're right, because even if you look at the first shot attempt, the goal from Nazariev, and compare it to the last one, both of those goals kind of just came out of nowhere. Like they just caught the U.S. sleeping for a second, and just with their speed, they just found a hole and found a shot. And now Tajikistan will make their first substitution. Meruban Odilzoda will exit, and he will be replaced by Asadbek Makhtumov. So Odilzoda for Makhtumov. That'll be a change in the center of the midfield position. As this one goes to the right wing for Berchimas inside the attacking third. Into Sullivan just inside the 18-yard box. Tries to curl one in. Knocks off a Tajikistani defender. And that might have hit the face of Parviz Bobonazarov. And he goes down. You saw him shriek in pain after taking a Kevin Sullivan shot right to the face. It was either the face or the stomach, but it looked like Bobonazarov got the wind knocked out of him on that one.
Guys, if you're viewing, 43 viewers, please comment. We want to hear from you. You guys have been way too quiet here in the second half. Let's get the party going. Let's get like some commentary going on here. We love to react. As long as it's appropriate, we'll share your comment on the screen. You can say anything you want. Keep it appropriate, but we'll put it up there. Shout out to John Smith. He's been nice and active. He agrees that, U.S. needs to get a couple goals. Calling out everyone who's been on this stream. We got Microwave Man. We have Yannick. We have John Smith. We have a couple others. You guys have been fantastic today. But there will only be one stream MVP. So whoever, right now, I got to say, it might be John Smith getting the MVP. Also against Microwave Man when it comes to the best viewer. Carlos Guzman, we haven't heard from you in a while. Nero Skolkin, want to see you back here. So guys, get commenting. And Josh and I will name one MVP of the stream at the end. Yeah, I mean, is there any higher honor than stream MVP? I don't think so. Also, we could have someone wild card come out of nowhere too and just keep commenting for the last 15 minutes of this match. You never know. Right now, it looks like we might give Kevin Sullivan the man of the match, which would be the second most prestigious award on this State of Soccer stream, as we now see Bobonazarov get back on the pitch for Tajikistan. Cross in, deflected away, back to Guimaraes as the United States builds the attack forward. I love playing back with their defense. I like the way the United States is able to bring their defenders up so high and use them to just kind of readjust the direction in the passing scheme. They continue to play it towards the left wing, where Jameer Johnson has been excellent filling in for Mathis Albert. Really good substitution as Johnson is the target of the long through ball. He backs off the defender, now controls it, pulls it out of the 18-yard box as the USA settles. Securis back to Guimaraes, now in the center with Martinez. Taken away and taken right back by the United States. Here's Sullivan. Great move on defense for Sullivan. Lays it off for Johnson. Low-hanging cross, deflected away. U.S. still in control. Securis the cross, and the header scores. Was Sullivan offside? If not, it's a brace.
but we may not see that goal go in.
Yeah, Josh, unfortunately, I think Sullivan was offsides there.
That's close.
This has been a crazy match, honestly. This has been a really, really interesting match. One of the stranger watches in terms of just the dominance of the U.S., how many chances on goal, but they just can't seem to put the ball in the back of the net.
I mean, this game could easily be 5 or 6-1 right now in favor of the United States. That was the second goal scoring chance that the United States have lost due to an offsides call.
Yeah.
But one thing that is very clear, Kevin Sullivan is going to be an absolute star.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you can dispute that.
I don't think that was too much in question before this game either, but just seeing his play on every side of it. I mean, he looks like a guy who is definitely more suited as an attacking midfielder because of his technical skill, but he can play anywhere in the midfield. I mean, he's making some nice plays on defense, you know, some solid standing tackles, some quick strike steals, interceptions. I mean, he can do it all.
Yeah, he's fantastic, Josh, and he's really hustling in this match. I'm not questioning his hustle and pass match. It's just the way he plays. He's everywhere. He's all over the pitch. Left side, right side, playing up, playing back, tracking back on defense. He's everywhere.
And you want a center midfielder to be everywhere. You know, he's exactly what you want in a center midfielder. Never seems to get tired. And he's just so aggressive as he takes the ball away from the Tajikistan defense there, knocks it off one of their center backs, and it's a U.S. throw-in. So another great example of Kevin Sullivan just controlling the flow of the game. As U.S. now starts to stall a little bit with 9 minutes to play in regulation. Kevin Sullivan with the go-ahead goal on the penalty kick at the 61st. And here comes Sullivan, low cross, but it's intercepted by McDonough, bobbles it, diving right on the ball in front of Chase Adams. And that's another combination that I'm really liking. Chase Adams had a quiet first about 35, 40 minutes of this game. But since the very end of the first half, he has been looking to get on the end of every single cross inside the box. And you love to see that from a man wearing a number 9 jersey.
Exactly. His positioning is really good, Josh. I've been watching his positioning in this match. Very dangerous. If you play this match 5 times, I think he might have 4 or 5 goals, right? We haven't. It's just depending on, which way the ball lands, and he's a lethal finisher.
And it looks like 2 substitutions for Tajikistan. The first one, Abdullah Ibrahim Zoda will exit, and Haidaishar Kudoydadov will come on for Tajikistan. And the second substitution will bring Zarif Zoda on, and Miruban Adil Zoda. No, he came off on the last one. Zarif Zoda is on for Abdullah Ibrahim Zoda, and Nazrullo Ashurali Zoda is off for Haidarsho Kudoydadov. And now the United States will make some substitutions. On the end line for the U.S., we have Kellen LeBlanc and Jude Terry. And it looks like Chase Adams will exit. Kellen LeBlanc likely to replace him on the attack. He came in as a winger in the second half of game number 1. And also off for the United States is Nimfasha Berchimas, who was a substitution exit in game 1 as well. So Terry and LeBlanc off for Adams and Sekiris with 7 minutes to go in regulation and a 2-1 United States lead.
I'm curious, Josh, if you're at Tajikistan, you're down 2-1 here. You're obviously just throwing everything out the U.S. You want to get a goal. You want to get a point out of this. You stave off elimination here. If you're a Tajik's coach, are you happy with the way they played today overall?
Honestly, overall, it's kind of a mix because they really had flashes of almost brilliance. Like they had some really nice plays and ball movement, multiple goal line clearances. Like overall, they played pretty well, but they just got kind of outmatched. And there were definitely some points where it seemed like, Tajikistan was a little gassed. So I think, there's certainly some talent on this Tajikistan team. I know they defied my expectations. But at the same time, they just didn't do enough. They just weren't as aggressive on offense, and they were a little too careless with their passing. As we see on the turnover there, now the USA has a chance with some players in, but the Tajikistan defense able to retain possession. But it's like they don't look before they pass. They're just like, okay, we've got someone who's supposed to be here. I'm just going to kick it in that direction. And that's why the United States has so many interceptions and takeaways in this game. They have just been the Tajikistan passing has been so easy to read, but, scoring a goal right out of the gate against a fast and strong team like the United States is not easy. So I wouldn't be upset, but I wouldn't necessarily be thrilled if I was the Tajikistan coach.
No, that's a good analysis there, Josh. One thing I would kind of nitpick the U.S. here, a lot of opportunities on the wing, maybe an extra touch, extra, check, visibility on the wing before they're crossing the ball here. There's a lot of crosses where the U.S. doesn't look like they're really positioning their bodies in the right spot to get the cross on frame. I've caught that a couple times now with the U.S. And, they are 17, 16, 15-year-olds, of course, and they're growing in terms of their abilities, but still.
Yeah, and I mean, something that I noticed from last game as well is that the United States haven't really used their size to their advantage. It certainly helped when the corner kick came in from Berchimas, but for the most part, like you're just not seeing as much advantage on those corner kicks, especially in today's game, and free kicks, any kind of set pieces where you're going to send in a cross and the height's going to come into play. That advantage isn't as strong for the United States as I'd expect it to be. So I think using their size a little bit more could give the United States an extra push as they make a substitution, the fourth of the match for the United States. Sullivan, the goal scorer, 2 goals in 2 matches for the United States, will exit, and New York City FC 2 player Maxi Carrizo, who made his senior debut with the team earlier this season, will come on in the attacking mid position to replace Sullivan.
Yeah, Sullivan, we got to clap it up for him. Excellent performance on Sullivan's side. Really, really great match. Man of the match, in my opinion. Of course, that Panenka is legendary. That's going to follow him for years at the youth level. One day when they put these highlight tapes together of Cavan, they're going to show that for years to come.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, in a tie match early in the second half, never know how many more chances you're going to get, especially after a penalty kick. To try a Panenka is just gritty. And now a free kick coming in from Tajikistan. Misses the heads, but stays in bounds. Tajik's in control with one of their substitutes, Maktumov, sending it back to the defense. 88 minutes have elapsed in this contest, so likely we'll see at least 5 more minutes of play, depending on how much is given for extra time. United States trying to clear it, bouncing off some heads of their defenders as Tajikistan controls it down the left wing. That one's deflected, goes across the face of goal, out of bounds for either a goal or a corner kick, depending on who last touched it. Maktumov, the passer for Tajikistan.
It's now or never for Tajikistan here. I mean, we're about to get how much at a time in just a minute here. We'll see exactly how much there is for Tajikistan to really see if they have another go here.
And especially in big tournaments and high leverage matches like we're seeing today, Usually there is a little extra added time. I'm going to say looks like it's about 3 or 4 minutes of extra time. Could be 5. An extra minute could be added, but my guess would be 4 minutes of extra time coming out of this second half.
We got a comment here. Who is tuning in?
I think Giuseppe was tuning into the stream for the first game. So hello, Giuseppe. And I believe welcome back, Mr. Giuseppe D'Angelo.
I think he was tuning in from Venice or Italy last time I remember that. Yeah, last match.
Maybe. Venice is a beautiful place. I want to go back.
He's been a stream MVP in the past, Giuseppe D'Angelo. So let's see. Right now it's going to John Smith, but we haven't heard from him since 11:19 a.m. And, in the stoppage time period, whoever jumps in might become stream MVP.
Kevin Sullivan might be man of the match, but he will not be stream MVP. And
there's only one.
Yeah, unless he joins in the comments in the next 7 minutes of extra time. So I was a bit off on my extra time prediction. United States knocking away 2 potential goal-scoring chances from Tajikistan. Maxi Carrillo getting into the action, as well as Pedro Guimaraes, who got the final deflection to knock that one away. But 6 more minutes, well, really 5.5 of extra time, as we get a fun little declaration from our friend Giuseppe D'Angelo. I love that. I'm not arguing with it. Just saying. Like
he's been the OG. He's been here since day one. So
we appreciate you guys joining in on this stream, and those who have, even if it is your first stream with us, if it is or it isn't, we hope you guys come back, and we appreciate you guys watching this one with us. I know Brian and I always have fun doing these watch-alongs, and even when Brian's not here, I have fun doing them, and I don't have to watch what I say because the boss isn't here. So, no, I'm kidding.
Well, if the stream gets taken down, then I know you probably said something that you shouldn't have said. But
yeah, you said it, not me.
But guys, 45 viewers right now. Let's pump up those numbers. Please hit like, subscribe. I mean, this is a 2-1 match right now. Tajikistan is, 7 minutes of stoppage time, about 5 minutes left here. We'll see if they get anything underway. The U.S. has failed to get that third goal to really separate, the scoreline to pretty much cement the win. So it's still very exciting as we wind down time here.
And Tajikistan has really ramped up the pressure in these last couple of minutes. Tajikistan with Nazariev really doing a lot more to get open. And you got to give some credit to the U.S. defense, because Nazariev has been a lot less apparent on the field after that first goal.
I think this says Tajikistan Vanesh. I don't know. I can't.
Maybe let's go Tajikistan. That's my guess.
Yeah, let's go Tajikistan, potentially Vanesh. I think that's how you say it.
We love seeing supporters from both sides. I feel like on most of these U.S. national team matches, it's very one-sided in terms of United States fans. But just from the different languages that we've got in the chat here, it's different.
Sorry.
I'm impressed you can even read that, Brian. I can't even begin to think what that says. As Tajikistan will have another substitution, arguably the strongest midfielder of the night for Tajikistan. Number 8, Ramazan Bakhtaliev, will be replaced by Bahadur Nazarzoda, and a surprise substitution in terms of Nazarzoda not being in the starting lineup, as he provided the assist for Nazariev in their lone goal against Czechia in the first match of the tournament.
This Czechia
now the United States on a tackle. On attack. Yeah. He's their number 6 as Jameer Johnson in control. United States slowing it up as they circumvent the 18-yard box. They go back to the defense to keep Tajikistan guessing. About halfway through extra time as Sakiris tries to find a seam. He cannot. Ball cleared forward from Tajikistan. Christopher Cups coolly picks it up. Gets it away from the Tajikistani defender. And now here come the United States, slowly working out of their back line as Martinez sends it forward. Johnson again. I've really liked him. If Albert hasn't been so good on the left wing, he'd be a candidate to start there the next match. Johnson has been as good as Albert in his short substitution.
He spelled it phonetically for us. So Tajikistan Bapesh.
Really appreciate that. That's my vote for stream MVP then. We've got someone not just commenting in a different language, but trying to help us layman, non-Russian, Tajiki, whatever the language is, apologies. We don't speak that language, so we appreciate your help as we try and, make the stream for everybody, even if we only speak English in terms of these two teams.
Yeah.
So Hakeem Sharipov is my vote for the stream MVP. Sorry, Giuseppe.
Giuseppe, I don't know, Giuseppe could come back, but John Smith really let us down here late in the stream. I'm not going to call him out. It's a couple other guys.
He's been consistent, though. He's been on there the whole match. So that definitely.
He could still be listening.
I just want to have an international stream MVP, especially since this is the first time we've seen phonetically spelled foreign language on the comments. So that's enough for me.
He could be tuning in from Tajikistan too, I imagine. So it's probably one of our first Tajik viewers.
It's certainly possible. United States with another potential attack. Minute and a half to go in extra time. Jameer Johnson cuts towards the middle, hammers a shot, but I believe it'll bounce off a Tajikistani defender for United States corner. And Johnson, I don't think passing-wise has been as strong as Albert. I think Albert's technical ability as a passer made him so strong on that left wing all game, but just the runs that Johnson is making, he is making such dangerous runs cutting inside from that left wing.
Totally agree, Josh. Yeah, totally agree. Good commentary there. But a much-needed substitution, too. In a match like this, I think that, U17 coach expected the U.S. to get a couple more goals, put in Johnson, give Albert a rest. But right now, good substitutes on the U.S. end, but this game is a lot closer than he probably imagined when he was making those substitutions.
I think you're absolutely right, Brian, because obviously the scoreline changes the scope of how you want to play this game. We know that, Tajikistan got the first goal. The United States probably knows that first place and, almost, inches away from clinching a spot in the knockout round. I'm sure the United States knows that that's on the table.
Yeah.
So they really stepped up. And after that, those first 5 minutes where it was a little chaotic, they really stepped up and took control of this game and are close to solidifying first place in Group I in this U17 World Cup. At the 7-minute mark, the final whistle will blow, and the United States get their second win in a row in this U17 tournament. Man of the match is Kevin Sullivan, getting the go-ahead tally from the penalty spot. Equalizing goal from Nimfasha Berchimas, who has to be in man of the match consideration as well, after a Mohamed Nazriev goal in the 3rd minute, gets the final score at 2-1 in favor of the United States. And if you take a look at those live standings, the United States need just a tie to clinch first place in Group I. The goal differential still favors Czechia with a 4-goal advantage after the 6-1 win over Tajikistan. Burkina Faso will be cheering for the United States, as if the United States beats the Czech Republic and Burkina Faso can get a win or a tie, it'll be the U.S. and Burkina Faso moving on. United States hasn't officially advanced yet, though, Brian, but this game was certainly a big step on the way to doing so.
Yeah, it was a big step. I think ultimately, if you're the U.S., you want to see more goals, more balls in the back of the net. However, a 2-1 victory over Tajikistan gets the job done. 3 points for the U.S. Now upping their, total in table to 6 points, of course. And we'll have to see. Czechia dropping 1 to Burkina Faso. We're really lucky there for the U.S., although Burkina Faso is not a bad team, as we saw in that first match for the USA. However, this third game against Czechia, it all comes down to this, really, Josh, in reality, because Czechia does have that goal differential. So if Czechia is able to get that victory coming up on Wednesday, I believe it is, if I have the date correct, or is it Monday, Josh? Wednesday?
It's the 11th. I'm pretty sure that's Tuesday. Yeah.
Tuesday 11th.
You were
I'm
close.
excited for that one. We'll be live for that. And then, so this is going to be a really interesting finish. I believe the top two advance from the group stage. So the U.S. here most likely will advance, but also don't count out Burkina Faso as well with 3 points. So this is coming down to the wire. This has been great group stage play. Hats off to Tajikistan for today's match, keeping it close. But the U.S., I think, will come ready to compete on Tuesday.
And unfortunately for Tajikistan, they are the only definite result of this second match in Group I. Tajikistan is now unable to advance. I think technically there is a way to advance if Tajikistan can get a 7-goal victory over Burkina Faso. And then maybe, but even then, I still think it's a very difficult road for Tajikistan to advance. And, the Czech Republic game aside, 6-1 is never a game to look at all that favorably. But today's match, they certainly played like a team that can compete at this level. They did not look like a team that got beat 6-1 in their last match.
Yeah, I know the sport.
Certainly a lot to be impressed about.
Football is definitely, Tajikistan's national sport in terms of interest and participation. And I think that ultimately a lot of those Central Asian countries are growing, right? Uzbekistan, you see them growing. Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, they're all getting better, especially I would say Uzbekistan in terms of what they've been able to do, even at the club level. So, hats off to Tajikistan here. And it's great to see countries like this, smaller countries that are competing against the likes of USA. We have a Hakeem Sharapov commenting Tajikistan will win 2-3. Maybe he's saying in the next match. They weren't able to win today, but hats off to them overall.
Yeah, they really impressed me. I'll even admit before this match, I did not expect that much from Tajikistan. I saw a team that got bulldozed by a Czech Republic team and a United States team that got better and better in every single minute of that win against Burkina Faso. But Tajikistan was right with the USA, step for step. But it was just the physicality and too much time with the ball for the United States that I think really made the difference.
Yeah, and it's easy to get lost in the score lines too, Josh. I think, at the end of the day, these are youth national teams, right? So you can have one match where you get blown out, and the next match you might blow someone else out in terms of score lines. So I think that it's match to match, matchup to matchup. And Tajikistan, I wouldn't be surprised if they fight Burkina Faso strongly. I also wouldn't be surprised if Burkina Faso comes out and maybe puts up 3, 4, 5 goals too. But that's going to be an exciting one to track too, just for the development of this Tajik squad and what they can do in the future.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a team that can improve, and that I think that matchup against Czechia is going to be a very against Burkina Faso is going to be a very entertaining matchup. But of course, for the United States, Czechia is the only focus. This is a game where both teams do have the chance to win first place. If this game ends in a win, the winner of this game will win the group. The United States, as I mentioned, can win this game with a loss or with a draw or a win. But Czech Republic needs a victory against the United States. What do you expect from the Group I finale and the deciding match of this group?
Yeah, I'm realistic here. I think it's going to be a tough one against Czechia. I think at the youth level, they always compete really well. They've had success in these tournaments. I think the US U17 squad here will play them tough. It could go either way, Josh. I do think this is a game where maybe a Kevin Sullivan continues to find himself and takes over. We saw other players for the U.S. really kind of taking strides in this match as standout players. I wouldn't be surprised if the U.S. wins the next match, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they drop points. It's just all depending on, this is a youth team, how they come out on Tuesday. And that comes down to a lot of the coaching, because for a lot of these players, this is the first time that they're playing the finale match of a group stage, right, at a major national tournament? Are they prepared to do so? What's their mentality going into Tuesday? I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, and I think the USA is definitely going to need to come out a little bit more aggressive, because something that I think we saw in both matches, Brian, was the USA started a little flat. Obviously, it was blown wide open with an Azariev goal in the 3rd minute, but I just love seeing how the USA team has responded to adversity in really each of the first 2 games, and a strong start could really be the decider in this one. And of course, the last decision that we have to make is the stream MVP. And my vote is for Hakeem Sharapov. You see 2 different languages now. That's got to be worth something. And Hakeem, really stepped up, was probably the most active in the comments during the last bit of the match. So if you agree, Brian, I'm ready to give Hakeem our stream MVP.
I think it's going to go to review. Let's see here. I got to take a look here. Hakeem Sharapov with really coming through. And I apologize. There's lagging on my end too. I don't know but I'm looking into some of the statistics here. We actually are going to have the referee come out and review. Hold on, Josh. Let's see. It's under review.
Highlighting the stream right there as we get a virtual ref in here. This is great.
Here he is. It's not loaded on my end. But the virtual ref. Yeah. I have to take one more look at it. I think I got to give it to Hakeem Sharapov here, Josh, with the MVP, stream MVP. Definitely, I don't know if his last comment is sarcastic against the U.S. or if that's actually genuine in cheering us on. But either way, I don't take offense. Thank you for the commentary. Thank you for the translations. Thank you for being here. And for everyone who tuned in today, this has been a lot of fun, as always, on State of Soccer.
Absolutely. I definitely echo those sentiments. We loved having fun chatting with you guys in the comments. Really appreciate your guys' participation in this watch along. And don't forget, we will have at least one more, likely some knockout stage as well, but at least for regulation. The United States and Czechia will be the next match that we will cover. I will be with Jamie Lauder on that one, and I believe that starts the same time as today's match. It does, so we'll have the stream on a little bit before 9:45 on Veterans Day. I'm off work that day, so if you guys are out of the office, wake up with us here on State of Soccer. Really appreciate you guys joining. Congratulations to Hakeem Sharapov, and we will root for this young Tajikistan team, as they said in their last comment. Definitely a team that you can support going forward, but that is our stream MVP, and we're looking forward to another great stream on November 11th, and I'll give it back to Brian for his last thoughts on today's match and stream before we go away for the day.
Yeah, before we go away for the day, really quick, Josh, in 2 minutes, I just want to run down the total standings right now. I'm always interested to see where we're at, and then we'll, of course, end this stream. But for the 20 viewers here, just to kind of keep you guys up to date, we have Group 1 here with Italy and South Africa leading with 6 points and 4 points apiece. Paraguay and Japan here at the top of the group in Group B. New Caledonia and Morocco. That's surprising on Morocco's side in Group B. Really interesting that their U17 squad is struggling, especially for a youth powerhouse. I'm really surprised by that, actually. Group C, we have Croatia, who's always competing. Senegal, previous African Cup Nations champions. Costa Rica there representing CONCACAF, and UAE in 4th. Argentina and Belgium. Top of the group here, Tunisia and Fiji. So it looks like Tunisia got a win against Fiji, most likely. Fiji there, hopefully they can turn things around and maybe get a result, but it's probably unlikely. We have Egypt and Venezuela. So England in that 3rd spot, Josh.
I mean, my cousin just married a new cousin from Venezuela, so I'm quite happy with that one.
That's fantastic. Yeah, for Venezuela too. So hopefully they have Haiti in the next match. It looks like they might as well go through, and Egypt has England. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. This is kind of a group of death in a way. Just all programs here, especially at the youth side, have been good. So Switzerland leading, South Korea in 2nd, Mexico U17. I think Mexico's won a U17 title in the mid or late 2000s, I think, but they're in third right now. North Korea leading the group. Germany, Colombia, and El Salvador.
In that group, that is very surprising.
Really fascinating, actually. So I got to check on this North Korea squad. Are all those players playing domestic football in North Korea? Are they playing abroad? I don't know, but I'm surprised by that. Brazil, Zambia, Indonesia. And this is a thing, Josh, too, which we're kind of alluding to in the stream. Youth national team football, youth football. Sometimes there are shakeups. You see teams. That's why I was so worried about Tajikistan today, or even Burkina Faso. You see teams upsetting nations that you'd expect to win, right? It's not always that same consistent performance you see at the national team level. So a Zambia, a North Korea, whoever it may be, can hop in here at the youth level and get some results. Yeah. We talked about Group I. There's multiple groups here. So following that new World Cup format, we have Ireland, which is good to see from the Irish in terms of top of the group. I talked about Uzbekistan doing big things. There they are in second. France and Canada. So Chile, surprising me. And we're going to wind up here in a second. Austria, Mali, Saudi Arabia, and New Zealand. And then the top scores to date is Skrikon from Czechia. So we'll have to track him in the next match, Josh.
Yeah, that's someone that we'll certainly be keeping an eye on. Kevin Sullivan, of course, 1 goal off of that pace, as is Mohamed Nazariev. Both Sullivan and Nazariev with a goal in each match for their team. And both will try and get on the score sheet next time. Tuesday we'll have Burkina Faso face Tajikistan. We will have United States face the Czech Republic for the fate of Group I. Jamie Lauder and myself, Josh Sperber, on the call beginning at 9:45. Please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe, and make sure to join in on Tuesday the 11th at 9:45. And remember, there is no excuse if you're in America, because you should have a day off of work, which means you can join us right here. So for myself, Josh Sperber, my broadcast partner and director, producer, everything for State of Soccer, Brian McDonough, we really appreciate you guys joining in. United States with a 2-1 victory over Tajikistan to put them atop Group I and get them set up for the final game of the group stage on Tuesday. Big congratulations to our stream MVP, Hakeem Sharapov, P6X as well. Hopefully you'll join us, and all of you will join us. Appreciate you guys joining in the comments, and we'll see you guys again on Tuesday. Thank you for watching. Please give us a subscribe, and please enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Peace, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you Tuesday.